Shalom, brothers in Christ and sisters. Ultimately, this project, it's a project in a for asking myself for glorious that I am, but you come to a conclusion at some point where you realize that if you don't do something, you will wait forever. And this is one of the many wisdoms if we're dealing with it. Action speaks louder than words. Simple like that. Government really translated it to an issue. We tend to lose, meaning thing relative to ourselves. Without going on from all over the world, and we all the viewers, all the watchers, all who say Christ is their savior. And the reason I felt the need Yahweh, maybe according to the ancestors, maybe according to God, there is a need Yahweh. We must reach a point whereby, as amakhosi, as those who work for light, and when I say light, I'm not meaning it in a psychology that it is used in right now. They've become terms that are thrown away loosely, so, but they actually have meaning. As I think there is a time where there must be, where people choose to stand up for something that is true, that is right. And especially on the internet, right? We see a lot of things whereby people are being misled. We see the false preachers, the false prophets. We see false priests, the priests, forgive my language, the priests it's faking. There is a lot going on. The one that we are working now. And with all of that acknowledged, it doesn't take away from the message that those who know or don't even know, what you call it, the house parties, clubs, house parties, taverns, the car wash, all these places, when they are said they are popular popping places. There is a time where we have to recognize as people and ask ourselves a question that, are we in these places to run away from something? Or are we in these places that we are trying to forget something? Or are we in these places because we are lost and have nowhere to go? And it's easy to get lost. For the guy that are just taking people's money in the name of Christ. Everything is just falling apart. But there comes a time where izithunywa tsa Modimo, tsa Mmupi, tsa Jehova, tsa Moari, tsa Allah, tsa Modimo o le mong empa bitswa ka tlasa mabitso a mangata. The God of Israel. There comes a time where the children are needed to be where they have to be. And I do not blame them. There's a lot of things that have happened physically, mentally, and spiritually to the society at large. We have problems of households that are led by children. We have households where we have households where even the mothers are not there. Child-led households. Mare, there is a problem when you see motho a rwetse sefaha a ba re tlo thwale. There is a problem when you see motho a shwere Bible a ba re mphe tjhelete in order for you to receive your blessings. There is a problem. And maybe because we are hypnotized and lost within everything that's happening in the world, Mare, there must be a full stop at some point where even amadlozi ngishilo ukuthi angikhethe ibala nedlozi nempande ngokuhlukana kwayo, where lamabandla kumele ukuthi aphambe aeme kamantu and make a choice which God they are saving. Because there is a lot of clutter. I'm not about to point anyone. Come on, I won't do that. Remember, he without sin shall cast the first stone. I'm living in a glass house. Even though I'm saying this, I'm living in a glass house. There comes a time in Momo how should become character. There comes a time where intellectual vigor becomes commonplace. There's a time where prayer should become a commonplace. And more than anything, because one of the many reasons that made me to start this journey, even though it's been hard, I'm a very private person, even though it's been hard, Mari, it was lit. The biggest problem that we have as a culture of Africans who say they practice spirituality, not African spirituality, not religion, who practice spirituality, the spirituality of Langa, the spirituality of Jehovah, the spirituality of Allah, the spirituality of Moari, the spirituality of Mubim, spirituality of Modimo, the spirituality of all this God, the same God that is mentioned under different names, should take fourth place. And it says that problem umsamo are not fixed. You see people running around with beads. It's commonplace. It's very commonplace. And I have nothing against those people. Kodwa inyanga mawufika laphaya what do you call it? Endumbeni. Bathi kuwe mawuna inkinga mele ukuthi uthwase. Angawutshela ukuthi inkinga isele emsamoni. You find that most of the people bafakileng is amabhaye wedlozi lobunyanga amabhayi wedlozi lobungoma amabhayi wedlozi ngakhithi ibala ledlozi ngisasho namanje. Most of these people are people who umsamo uyabamemeza, and mawuyinyanga uzoyizwa lento uthi umsamo uyamemeza. Umsamo uyamemeza, and mawumemeza umsamo, it doesn't talk at the fact that when the altar is calling you, the altar of Christ, the altar of Mary is calling you. It doesn't only say hamba uyothwasa. Some of you umsamo uyamemeza because you haven't cleaned the grave of your mother. You haven't cleaned the grave of your father. You haven't cleaned the grave of your grandfather. You haven't been home. Phela amadlozi afani. Amanye, they don't mind you coming every year, once a year. They don't mind. Amanye amadlozi afuna ukuthi uhloniphe umsamo every 6 months. Amanye ufuna ukuthi ube present emsamo every 3 months. Amanye need every day. Kodwa ukuthi ukuthi umsamo ubumemeza says hamba uyothwasa. Go back home. Ask your mother, what have I done wrong? Because some of you say that life is difficult, only to find out that you left home fighting with your own mother. You left home fighting with your own uncle. The most important people that are supposed to be with you, you left home fighting with them. Things happen. Because manje Zulu is not my first language, but ngithwasile mina. Ngaliphuza ngaliphalazela ngalibaleni nabafana nabankinga nabampiki. Ngithwasile. Kakhulu ayikancane, but that's not the place. That's not what I'm trying to say. Get the point of the fact that those who have the true gift of God. It's time. It's time. Echaili. The fake must fall to the side, so that we may lead the children of Israel back home. Abanye benu alisotlini mesamo, guys. Your mother and father, let me tell you something. Your mother and father, those are the ones that hold your luck like this. If not, you've never met them. Your grandfather and your grandmother, they're still there. You can go to go and twasa, knowing full well that Bakini, they never twasad. Unless your mother and father or your grandfather and grandmother came to you to say, go do this. Stop allowing people to tell you what you need to do with your life. I won't say much. And in shalom, in Christ we trust. Amen.